All right. So Jeff, sending 9 through, right?
Yeah.
Well, what do you think? Overall thoughts after today, then?
Obviously putting on a tournament like this, it takes a lot of work. Takes a lot of people that are stepping up. I think the tournament went really well, obviously from a logistical standpoint, but it's even kind of it's a good day when you qualify 9th for nationals out of a tough region like this.
How do you guys? How's that work? Because this is your second year hosting the regional. How's that work? How do you guys? You bid for that, or do you just?
So last year, nobody in our region bid on it, and I'm on a leadership committee, and the leadership committee was like, well, Jeff will do it. And I'm like, I will do what? And so I had a lot of support from them, worked with Joe Norton, who's North Central, who'd hosted before. He sent me a bunch of information, made logistically the setup a little bit easier, and then this year we kind of just followed the same model that we did last year, and everything went pretty seamless.
Yeah, obviously, it went a lot quicker this year, but so were there lessons learned on that too?
No, we had about the same number of athletes as last year, but we had 3 mats. Last year they said you only need 2 mats, which is fine. This year we upped it to 3 mats, so it sped things up a little bit more. I also think having the officiating crew that we did, we didn't have to have a lot of reviews because they weren't messing up calls. So hats off to them for actually doing a great job, because sometimes that doesn't happen. Anytime we can have a good crew like that's great.
So then obviously to the wrestling, you guys just said one last year, is that right? Was it
won the last 2 years?
2 years.
Looking at regionals 2 years ago, it had McKendree and North Central and Lindenwood. It was a tough region to qualify. Same thing with last year. Things got realigned a little bit this year, so it was a little bit more balanced. Obviously, having a tough team like Iowa is always going to be tough, but coming in second with the number of qualifiers, that's a big statement for us.
Yeah, because obviously this, but Wartburg's tough too, right? There were some tough schools here today. And I noticed a lot of girls fought back to 4th place.
Yeah.
What does that say? They'd come back for true 4th, I should say. What's that say about them?
Well, and some of them weren't pretty matches. Some of them they had to just grind out a tough win. Annie, for example, at 145 hasn't felt good, and had to come back and fight for that after losing a match, for 3rd and 4th that she should have won. She got caught, and I know that's always a hard thing to do, but we talk a lot about being able to step up to that pressure when it happens, and respond when things don't go our way, as opposed to retracting and feeling bad. Being able to face it head on and qualify.
And then I'm gonna butcher her name, but I know. So Keely wrestled a really tough girl from Dubuque, Alex, right?
Yep.
So that semifinal match, that was a ranked person for her. So what'd you see from her?
So she was 1-2 against her this year going into it. First match we wrestled her, we got up 8-0, and we had her on her back, and we all thought she was pinned, but then didn't get pinned and we got caught. Second match didn't last very long. We came out and went upper body with her, which is where Alex is really good, and got pinned. Third match at ARC, we beat her 10-0. We kind of have her figured out. Keely's an incredibly explosive, powerful wrestler, but sometimes she doesn't know how to control it. And so with somebody like Alex that can really punish you, sometimes is aim small, miss small with things like that.
So now you got a whole crew going with you this year.
Yep.
A little bit different. So how are you, what's the next couple of weeks going to look like as you guys get ready?
Today's off day. Tomorrow's an off day. Most of the girls will probably come in for recovery, like ice baths and doing a little bit of stuff to get sort of lactic acid moving out of their body. This time of year, it's about peaking. We talk a lot about, I described Gable's philosophy, having wrestled for him, is this is a qualifying tournament. Do we want to wrestle great at a qualifying tournament? Absolutely. Do we want to wrestle better in 2 weeks? Yes. And so we're kind of peaking and sort of tapering towards nationals. Shorter, harder practices, not really doing a lot of technique. We'll review some film, correct some mistakes, but putting the girls in what we call their win conditions is going to be our focus.